Sometimes life can feel so meaningless. Is this it for the rest of my life? Nothing excites you. Life is joyless. And then you're overcome with stinging sadness, or you just want to give up on everything. It can happen to anyone. We all have these incredible minds which likes to think unnecessary, useless thoughts, making you feel lazy, uninterested, useless. And when you feel lost, empty, and life feels meaningless, what can you do? You've bought so many books, but haven't started on any of them. You've downloaded all the right apps, podcasts, but you can't be bothered to use them or listen to them. And you see everyone being so productive on Instagram. I believe the answers to our problems when we are feeling this way are hidden in the tiniest actions. Humans crave meaning. It's what makes life worthwhile. But it's difficult. The past 2 years accelerated change. Our lives have been made so convenient that you can now live your life locked in your house, not see anyone, and move as little as possible. While our movement decreased, waistlines have increased, fashion shifted to give us more room and comfort. Accelerated and widespread convenience comes at a massive human cost that the economy and our leaders in government just don't care about. Increased convenience drains meaning out of our existence. We're humans. We need meaning in our life. And meaning doesn't mean making lots of money. Money helps, but there are plenty of millionaires who have taken their life because it has no meaning. Money doesn't bring meaning. A meaningful life is not a popularity contest, getting the most likes, the most followers. Joseph Campbell said, "A meaningful life is whatever you ascribe it to be." That is to say, life has no meaning. You bring meaning to it. That's not particularly helpful, and it's difficult to hear. It's actually really annoying. This morning routine is made especially for you, to give you ideas to help you live a meaningful day. My hope for you is by the end of your day, today, wherever you are in this beautiful planet, that you feel less sorrow and a little more hope. Maybe even a tiny spark of joy is lit in your heart. I can only hope. When I feel down like this, usually when I look around the flat, it's a mess. There are tasks I've been meaning to do but haven't. So I get started on one small task. Without thinking about anything, I'll start taking care of this task. Repotting this plant. I keep looking at it, thinking, I need to repot that or it might die. So that's where I'll start. After doing a few tasks, I feel better. I feel a sense of accomplishment. Einstein said, "Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour and it seems like a minute." That is relativity. He'll probably get cancelled if he said that today. You've experienced that sense when you're engaged in an activity. You look at the time, hours have passed in what feels like minutes. One way of filling your life with meaning is when you enter that timeless state where time disappears, also known as flow, according to research psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is described as the pleasure, delight, creativity, and process when you are completely immersed in life. And research shows those who live happy, meaningful lives are frequently immersed in these flow states. You achieve flow state by doing activities that bring you in this state. Key ingredients being you know what you need to do and how to do it. You know whether or not you're doing it well. You have a clearly defined objective or end goal. challenges you, requires skill that you've been honing and crafting, and you need to be free from distraction. Making matcha chai is something Jen taught me recently, and I'm still learning how to make it better, so I have to focus. Repotting these plants, I know what to do, I know the goal, to put this in a bigger pot, safely and securely. I'm not an expert, so it challenges me. It requires a bit of skill, and I need to be free from distractions. Maybe you are learning the piano, a new creative software or artistic medium. Whatever creative outlet you prefer or have been thinking about starting, why not incorporate that into your morning? See, so often we reach for our phones or remote first thing in the morning. Scrolling is easy, gives us immediate pleasure, it's meaningless, vacuous. However, chasing this short-term, immediate dopamine hit leaves us feeling vacuous, empty and meaningless in the long term. To achieve this flow state of mind, it's important to be single-mindedly focused, to make sure you shut out distractions. I recommend turning off your phone's Wi-Fi the night before. Leave your phone in another room so you don't see it first thing in the morning. You see, if you see it first thing, you will be tempted to pick it up, turn it on and check to get that short-term dopamine hit. See, just like fast food is bad for you, consuming short-term empty content leaves your soul feeling empty and unwell in the long term. For a meaningful morning routine, nothing is more important than the task you have chosen to do during this time. One of my favorite documentaries is Jiro Dreams of Sushi. The owner of a small sushi bar in Ginza district in Japan spent 80 years making sushi. He doesn't get bored of making sushi. Each one is a piece of art. They take pleasure in creating and lose sense of time. They don't care about expanding, opening more bars. They just care about serving the small number of patrons as best and the fullest as they can, which is why they have earned the rare air of 3 Michelin stars. They're just focused on doing and being. Our Western culture has lost this art of less is more. For a life to be meaningful, you don't have to seek the extraordinary or make it unique. You can find joy and meaning in the most ordinary things, but only if you are in a state of being, in that flow state. Then you truly feel the peace and beauty and connection in your life. Being with nature, looking up at the vastness of the sky, helps me realize we are all a part of something way bigger. Your mind is a constant hurricane of activity. Even 5 seconds of quiet can bring noticeable relief and bring you a sense of clarity and connection. If you want to get better at achieving flow states, which can be injected in all areas of your life, meditating is a good practice to help you. The most important thing when you meditate is it's not about achieving an end state or achieving a goal. It's about every single moment. Like if you plan to meditate for 5 minutes, which is perfectly fine to begin with, and of that 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 55 seconds your mind wandered, but those last 5 seconds you were centered, then that's fine. We often forget that our lives unfold before us in moments, not minutes or hours. Our lives are simply a symphony of small moments unfolding before us right now. When your morning routine helps you step out of the monotony of the mind, where we have the tendency to think about the past and project into the future, we miss out on the magic of this moment and the potential of this moment to craft a meaningful life. According to research, people with fewer social connections and when you feel like you don't belong increases the sense of meaninglessness. Humans are social creatures. We need social connection to feel like we belong to a group. So nurture connections with others. Call a friend and have a chat with them, or arrange to meet with a new acquaintance. Book a lunch with people who already know you. Send a loving, appreciative message to someone. Sometimes I'll send a text to a friend about an enjoyable memory, and I'll say, "Hope you're well, how are you?" Besides doing small tasks that clear my environment, I find reading eulogies about those who passed helps me focus on what matters. Like when the Queen died, the world burst with love and adoration for the most admired woman in the world. They didn't speak of her fortune or followers. Tributes that poured in from people who met her, from everyday citizens to powerful leaders, didn't speak of her fortune or followers. Every single tribute revealed her character, like a model of leadership immortalized in history, said the King of Saudi Arabia. Performed her duties with devotion, grace and humility. Grace, elegance, tireless work ethic, beacon of hope and stability. Kind heart and good deeds will remain in people's heart. Steady grace and resolve, thoughtful, wise, curious, helpful, funny. Warmth and kindness, embodiment of grace, dignity and elegance. Life is essentially meaningless. It's up to us to create meaning in life. I find tributes to those who've passed leave clues as to how we can live a meaningful life in the present. Why is it that some people feel more fulfilled than others, regardless of their job or income? Eulogies tell us what matters most. That is, who we are and how we show up, which means sharing our gifts and touching the lives of others. Simple acts like greeting and reaching out to your neighbours and inquiring how they are, chatting with shop assistants, asking how they are, or your customers in your neighbourhood market. These are tiny, but when done consistently, they give you an outsized impact on your sense of connection and meaning. A meaningful morning routine is not meant to change your life or situation. It won't help you crush your day. It won't make Instagram-worthy fun activities. But what it can do is help you stop chasing external validation. Let go of comparison. Enter a state of being instead of mindless doing. When you enter this flow state of surrendering and being in the flow, you will know in your heart and soul that all is well. You are where you're meant to be right now. That this was a sign you needed some me time. Switch off from the external world and reconnect with your inner world. We all need reminders time and again to focus on what really matters in life. And focusing on what matters in life is how you create a life of meaning. One moment at a time.